Hello and welcome to mygenie.tv. This is David Childerley, and today we're going to be looking at the fear of asking, or even the freedom from the fear of asking, because most of us grow up and in adulthood we have this feeling within of I don't deserve or I'm not good enough. Now this is what we call subconscious conditioning, and it was picked up probably in the first 6 years of your life. Because as a child, in the first 6 years of your life, as you're developing, you're sort of in a dream-like trance state, where some children are described as maybe in an imaginary-like state. And while you're in this state, people around you are making assumptions, they're giving opinions, and they're handing down what we call conditioning into your programming of your unconscious mind. Now this will run your behavioural patterns and will dictate whether you're successful or not later in life, because during that crucial age of 0 to 6, you haven't really consciously got a clue what's going on because you are so young. So you're very interested and here and now, in the moment, playing, imagining, but all around you is the conditioning is being fed into your unconscious mind, a series of programs in what we could refer to as like a tape player. So now as adults, we have this deep feeling that we don't deserve or we're not good enough. That forms a rigid belief, and the brain will sabotage your behaviour to protect that belief. So you will not attract wealth, you will not attract everything you want, because you have certain underlying conditioning or beliefs that will sabotage that. Now what I want to try and do with this series of fear of asking is I don't want to drag you back to the past. I don't want to make you relive all of those experiences where maybe somebody said you're not worthy or you're not good enough, or maybe you were a child having a tantrum because you wanted a teddy in the store, and as your mother was pulling you away she said to you repeatedly, do you know what, you're such a naughty girl, you don't deserve that teddy because you're not good enough. And even though at the age of 5 or 6 you don't really pay conscious attention to those remarks because you're in the moment and you're angry and screaming, your unconscious is hearing it regularly and it's going, okay, I'll have that as a program, thank you very much. And here you are now, sitting at home watching me, thinking, okay, well how can I change my programming? How can I change my beliefs? What do I need to do? Well, it's really quite simple. You don't need to go back and relive all of those experiences, because really all of those experiences have made you who you are. And to be honest, all of those beliefs and all that conditioning wasn't what you chose at that age. It was just put on you by those around you. However old you are now, whatever colour or race or whatever country you might be sitting in watching this, you can actually choose to change your mind right now. You can say to yourself, okay, if my life and the way I feel is because of preconditioned programs that are running in my subconscious mind, what can I do about it? Well, you can take control. You can say to yourself, okay, if all of that stuff when I was a kid has produced this result and has got me what I currently have in my life, good or bad, if I am a result of all of that, really that is just programming. And really in the back of my subconscious mind there is a tape playing the same old patterns, the same old conditioning that we learned when we were a child. And the old age question in time, certainly in therapy and personal development, is, well, we know the mechanisms, we know all that, but beliefs are so strong and so rigid, it's really hard to try and break them. How do you do that? Because the brain will defend those beliefs. You know, it's a core part of who you are. Now what I'm trying to say to you is you don't need to break those beliefs. Imagine there's a tape player in your subconscious and you could physically just press the record button and record a new program. Record some new beliefs. And then for the rest of your life, your subconscious condition is going to play new patterns. It's going to play new programs, which allows you to claim the abundance that is your birthright. Now, to do this, we combine EFT or emotional freedom technique with positive affirmations of what you want to achieve. So, in part 2, what we're going to be doing is going straight into the affirmation tapping. Now, it's important that you understand that when you repeat an affirmation to yourself, it's just a statement. Now, when you say to yourself, I'm broke, I have no money, that's an affirmation. It's just a negative one. And if you've been saying to yourself for 2 or 3 years or most of your adult life, I can't afford that, I don't have the money, I'm not lucky, I don't get the breaks, I don't deserve. And if you've been saying those affirmations to yourself for the last so many years, is it any wonder that the results you have in front of you, the results you see in front of you, are a direct result of the affirmation you've been repeating in your subconscious? I don't deserve, I can't afford that. Or other people get the good luck. What I'm saying to you is now with part 2, you can change all that. You can rewrite your programming, because now it's your choice. You don't have to take your programming from others, from people, from parents, from siblings, from politicians, from all of those people out there in the media. You don't have to. You can say to yourself right now, okay, I have a whole belief system that works in my unconscious, and it was pre-programmed by others. Okay, so I can take responsibility now and rewrite it. So how do I do that? Great, that's what I'm going to show you to do in part 2. Now the way to use part 2 is to make sure you remember to form new beliefs. When they become new beliefs, they simply cancel out the old beliefs. The unconscious mind does not judge you. It doesn't say, I'm not going to release this belief because this one's better. If you believe that you're not good enough, okay, and then all of a sudden you change your mind and you start believing I am good enough, and you keep repeating the affirmation, I am good enough, I deserve, then what happens is the brain goes, okay, there's a new program here, we'll run with that one now. You see, because it's a dominant program, and it's been enforced through the tapping technique in the here and now. You are recoding the patterns and the habitual patterns in your subconscious that are running your life. Now, however old you are, it doesn't matter, because you are still running on programs from your childhood. So part 2 is going to create new empowering beliefs that are going to move you forward. Now you might say to yourself, yeah, but I don't believe all of that. And to be honest, that doesn't matter. You don't have to at the start. Okay? If I told you as a kid you didn't deserve, for the first few times you heard that, you go, rubbish, she's talking rubbish, what does she know? But then after a while you start to believe it. Like governments, the media, if they tell you something enough times you believe it. So if you tell yourself enough something like, I am good enough and I do deserve, guess what? You're going to believe it. So in part 2, you need to practice this tap along every morning for 5 minutes and every evening for 5 minutes. And I guarantee within 2 or 3 days you'll notice a huge improvement. So thanks for listening. If some of this has just maybe blown you, then go back and watch it again, okay? Because what I'm trying to do is help you understand that the way you're feeling and what you have in your life is not your fault, okay? It's just patterns of conditioning and beliefs and thoughts that you picked up as a child, when to be honest, you were busy playing whilst your environment was forming your conditions, and people said and did things that would have been good or unpleasant at the time. You don't need to go and relive the experiences, you just got to rechange the programming, so that within a week or 2 of trying part 2, what you'll start to say to yourself is, I can afford, I am good enough, I do deserve, I am going to ask for what I want because I'm worth it and I deserve it. And that is my aim for you. We need to break out of the past, we need to stop looking into the future, we need to just focus on the here and now. And in the here and now, over the next 2 weeks, I want to help you recode that programming so that it supports you, because at the moment there's a whole bunch of programming in there that limits you and holds you back. But the thing is, once you become consciously aware of that and you start to build the belief of, actually I have the power to recode and reprogram my conditioning, then you can take action. So join me in part 2 and I'll show you exactly how to do that. This is David Childerley. Thanks for watching.